The following is an exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the National Football League. On this episode of the Panthers Huddle, Bank of America Stadium is open for business. Coach Canales is here as the Panthers get ready to renew their rivalry at home against the Atlanta Falcons. Plus, step inside TD's film room, where the Panthers legend breaks down why T-Mac is off to a record start. Welcome inside the Panthers Huddle.
Welcome inside the Panthers Huddle. Kristen Balboni alongside my co-host and Panthers legend Thomas Davis. TD, we're going to put the first 2 weeks behind us and focus on Atlanta. First home game of the season, division opponent. As a player, what does it mean to be able to finally come back home and hopefully put your stamp on this new game at home?
KB, there's no place like home. When you are in a rut, when you have some things going that you didn't anticipate going your way or happening the way that they've happened so far, there's no better way than to right that ship than coming right back home. And this is the place that I feel like we have the opportunity to turn a lot of things around. But it's going to take a lot of effort. It's going to take some guys stepping up, and it's going to take a lot of execution, something that we haven't done consistently enough in the first two games.
Now, we know that every game is important. Guys get up for every single game, but at the same time, one thing I love that you always say is that division games count twice. Can you explain that to everybody and just the importance of this game?
Really, the mindset. Whenever you play a division game, you have to understand that those are the teams that you're competing against. They're trying to get those wins, and once you're able to get a win on a division opponent, that just sets you up in a position. Whereas when you go play another NFC team, it's another NFC win. But when you play an NFC opponent that is literally in your division, it allows you to get a step ahead of them because now they're chasing you if you have a win on them. Because it's all about whoever has the most wins in the division along with whatever your record is. So that's kind of how things break down. That's why we always say that these games count twice. You got to make sure whenever you're playing a division opponent, we know that there's a rivalry component, but there's a divisional component, and the team that wins the division goes to the playoffs. So that's what makes that so important, and these guys have to understand and know that, KB.
You mentioned the rivalry a little bit. We know what it is like when the Panthers and the Falcons play, right, TD?
Listen,
you know it well.
That used to be my favorite game, being a kid from Georgia, being able to go down the street against a team that's so close in proximity to us, just having bragging rights, being able to go back home and win that football game. I know that this is a game that's going to really catapult this team to where we want to go, but we have to get this win, KB.
Love to hear that. Love to hear it. Let's talk about this Falcons offense. We know who Michael Penix Jr. is a little bit more now. Bijan Robinson, they have got this attack that the Panthers defense has certainly been studying all week long.
Absolutely. They have an attack, and they have what I call a three-headed monster. You have a quarterback that's very capable. You have a running back that can do it all. You can hand it to him out of the backfield, as you just saw in that play. He caught the ball out of the backfield, but they also have a receiving group that is led on the outside, not only by Drake London, but also I'm looking at what their tight end is doing right now. He's stepping up in a big way. Kyle Pitts has been a guy that has gotten a lot of media headway for some negativity when it came to his play, but so far this year, he's been making a lot of plays for their offense as well. So that's that three-headed monster that I'm kind of talking about. Their offense of line is playing a lot better than they played in the past. Then you got Michael Penix playing well. You got the running back, who's Bijan Robinson, 146 yards from the line of scrimmage this season, which is that's pretty decent.
Pretty good.
Decent. And then, you know, Drake London has been very, very consistent since he's been there. Big physical receiver, and, you know, he's just one of those big receivers that's in our division that we've talked about in the years past.
And TD, I know that you were going to get at the board and break down Bijan Robinson for us and what makes him so lethal. But, you know, we talked about this run defense. You got to like what they did last week. And I believe that Derek Brown and those guys up front are hopefully going to be able to limit Bijan Robinson.
Listen, they absolutely are going to be able to limit it. You know, one of the things we talked about coming out of that Jacksonville game was we didn't do particularly well against the run. And we understand that that's something that's extremely important whenever you're going against a high-powered offense. You got to be able to make them one-dimensional, and it starts by taking the run away, and that's something that we was able to do against the Arizona Cardinals. Kind of, in essence, we took it away from them later in the game, that they really had to try to throw the ball around, which allowed us to get back into that football game. But I think Derrick Brown really coming into his own has made a world of difference. If you watch the way that he was able to play, you saw him get back to that aggressiveness that he has, that physicality that he plays with, and that overall effort that we love to see from DB. It was definitely on display.
I was there. I saw him ragdolling a couple of offensive linemen. I was like, oh my goodness. All right, we have got plenty more coming up for you very, very soon. But right now, let's hear from what the players had to say about the home opener.
Whether it's home, or whether we played home or away, fortunately enough for us, and we played home, first home game and home opener, so that's gonna be a good one. But all I care about right now is going out there and get a W.
It's gonna be fun. I have a good bit of family coming, so it'll be fun to get out there. But I think I'll be focused on hopefully getting a win. So hopefully when we get a win, then we'll be sitting there and you can appreciate it a little more.
Yeah. Oh no, they got weapons. They're moving guys around, putting guys in different positions, and they just want to get their playmakers the ball.
They're playing great football. It's a really good group. Guys that are playing well. It's a really good scheme. So, for us, we know it's going to take everything. We know the challenge. We have to have a great week of practice so that we can go out there and execute.
Trained with Panics before?
We've probably been on the field. Been on the same fields at around similar times. But I have a ton of respect for him. I watched him, now when you get to watch guys on film, a ton of respect for his game. I think he's a great player. I'm happy for him and excited for his success going forward. I have a ton of respect for him. 2 away from home is to start. That's the challenge we were presented, and it just makes you kind of miss the bank more, miss the fans that we have, miss the atmosphere. So I'm super excited to be back home.
Coming up, Kristen Balboni sits down with Coach Dave Canales as the Panthers look to turn the tide in their home opener on the Panthers Huddle. This exclusive presentation of the Carolina Panthers Television Network is brought to you in part by Bank of America, the official bank of the Carolina Panthers.
Welcome back to the Huddle, joined now by head coach Dave Canales. Coach, looking at that week 2 game, slow start, but then this team battles back in extraordinary fashion, came up just a little bit short. So what I want to know is, what do you and this team take away from that game?
Yeah, the finish, we know we can count on that part. We know we can count on from the entire team in all phases, offense, defense, and special teams, that we're going to finish. We're going to finish with great effort and all of our play style. That's going to show up. It matters to the guys. And we also learned we can't give opponents free things. Turnovers, big plays on defense, same amount of turnovers as the week before, fewer explosive plays. They're freebies for the opponent, and that's the part that we're working on, the communication that it takes, the discipline it takes, the amount of preparation that it takes to be able to really play disciplined football, and that's what we're after.
So then on the flip side, we saw just some incredible throws from Bryce.
Yes.
I mean, oh my goodness, and he topped career highs in a number of different categories. What did you see from him, especially down the stretch, that you go, oh my gosh, keep doing that?
Yeah, this is our guy. It was the belief. It was Bryce jogging off the field even after we had the turnovers, and he and I catching eyes and be like, hey, we're fine. And he's like, we'll just keep going back to work. And he's already working on, the protection issue or this or that or what he can do with it. And we had some quick interchanges and just move on, and keep looking for opportunities to attack. And that's his mentality. That's the way he played as we came out in the second half, and even one of the drives in the first half, just having that attacking mentality, keeping your eyes even, and never pass judgment on the outcome of a game based on what happens early. Just keep playing, and if we play team football, we can work ourselves back into a chance to win.
Tough news for the offensive line. Robert Hunt, Austin Corbett will be out for a while with some serious injuries. First of all, just as a coach on a human level, to have those guys who have worked so hard get that news, and then also as a coach, how you're feeling about that unit.
Yeah, I mean, starting with Austin, got hurt early last year and missed the entire season. to get hurt early again, this season. I just sick for him, for Austin and his family, and the hard work that it's taken to get back to this point and earning the starting job, and really being one of the leaders that I count on to echo the messaging of what we're after on a daily basis. And, then talking about Rob, like this is really the first, big injury that he's had in his career. And so for Rob, who's just a stud, like plays through everything in practice, never misses games, gets himself back out there and ready to play. So this is going to be a new experience for Rob, and we certainly will miss those guys on the field, in the locker room. On the flip side, Cade Mays, we played a lot of football with Cade last year. I'm excited for this opportunity for Cade. Chandler Zavala had an awesome offseason. He played against the Falcons last time at the end of the season and had a really good game and showed a lot of progress. He had a great camp. And I'm excited for these guys to get that opportunity.
You just mentioned the Falcons. That's the next game. First home game, first division opponent. How are you and the team attacking this one?
First of all, just excited to be home.
Yeah.
Excited to be back in Bank of America Stadium in front of our fans, and to be able to continue to build off of the lessons of each week and just approach it like the same thing. This is the next game. Can we take the lessons from this week and apply them to the next one? Being back in our environment, being at home, connecting with our people, and then also just, fired up to just play really clean football and really sound, fundamental football. That's our approach and that's our hope as we continue to build this team.
Bijan Robinson, almost 150 yards against the Vikings in that last game. What makes him so dangerous?
Just a combination of things. It's vision, speed, acceleration, quickness, strength. He's got it all. He's got great hands coming out of the backfield as well. A fantastic wide receiver, a player that I have a ton of respect for. And Tyler Algier. You talk about Tyler Algier and just an attitude runner. Runs with power and toughness, and this is it's an exciting matchup. As we continue to build our run game defense and the improvements we saw from week 1 to week 2. This is let's go, boys.
Yeah.
And we have to be disciplined about our run fits and make sure we tackle well.
That's exactly what I was going to ask about this run defense only allowing 82 yards in week 2. Do you just point to that and say, just keep doing that?
It was really just, I point back to the work in the week and how urgent the players were about their run fits and everybody running to the ball, because it just allows for less space and you can play off of each other. So my message to the group is replicate the work it took to have a great run plan. That's the goal.
Sticking with the Falcons offense, Michael Penix Jr., no turnovers in the first 2 games. How do you get to him?
Yeah, I think it's just throwing a bunch of different, whether it's stunts, pressures, trying to affect him in one way or another, but he gets the ball out quickly. He makes good decisions.
All right, and then finally, when you look at this Falcons defense, really stifled the Vikings, just 6 points. What's the key to getting points against a defense like the Falcons?
Yeah, being balanced and seeing what their defense is saying they're committed to stopping. Are they committed to loading the box to stop the run? Then we got to pass it a little bit, and if they're saying, hey, you're not going to let Tyrell and McMillan have a big game today and we're going to keep a safety over the top, you got to run the ball at them until they do that. So it's a balance and it's an exchange and it's a give and take, and it happens live in the games, and that's the exciting part about my job and Brad and Goody and the offensive staff, is we get to process these things in the series, have a great plan going into it, and then process to say, hey, this is their plan today. Here's how we need to go take steps forward.
Coach, like you, we can't wait to have the team back at home. It's going to be a great one on Sunday. Thank you so much for the time.
I'm fired up. Thank you.
Up next, step inside TD's film room as Thomas Davis breaks down the Falcons and the hot start of our rookie receiver on the Panthers Huddle.
All right, it is one of my favorite times of the week, without a doubt. It is TD's film room. And TD, we talked about him a little bit earlier in the show, Bijan Robinson. Such a problem for opposing defenses.
Yes.
Can you break down exactly why for us?
KB, he does so many things for this Atlanta offense, and we knew coming out of Texas that he was going to be a special player. We just didn't know how soon and how fast he would grow to become the guy that he's becoming right now. We talked about it earlier, 146 yards from scrimmage so far this season. But this is one of the things right here as we jump into this film that makes Bijan Robinson special. If you watch him on this play right here, we're going to freeze it right here. The linebacker from Minnesota right now has a gap responsibility. His gap responsibility on this play is to go right here and take this empty gap right here. You see this guy right here, he has this gap solidified. This guy is getting doubled. He has that gap solidified. He can draw this double team off as he come off. This guy is responsible for that one. And this should be, on the first play of the game, KB, should be something that is possibly a tackle for a loss, or at least being tackled at the line of scrimmage. But we talked about Bijan Robinson being a special player, and he makes great decisions. So right now, what he's going to do, he's going to draw this guy in and force him to make a bad decision, and let's see what happens. He ends up breaking this tackle and turns this into a 25-yard gain because he's a special player, and that's what special players do, KB. They make something out of nothing. If everybody does their job, he forces guys to miss tackles, but he also is great out of the backfield. So that's one of the things that we absolutely have to be aware of in playing Atlanta this weekend, facing Bijan Robinson.
Once you give him a little bit of space,
listen,
it's over, man.
He's gone. And
he
has so much shiftiness, and he makes guys miss effortlessly. So
now, we haven't had a chance to talk about that Falcons defense yet, but I know that you were high on a couple of guys there.
Absolutely. Leonard Floyd and a guy that I thought we were going to take in the draft, a North Carolina kid, Jalen Walker. Those guys have really transformed Atlanta's D-line. That's one of the things that they wanted to address, and they've done a great job of that so far. And it really starts, to me, KB, with Leonard Floyd. As we see him right here, the Minnesota Vikings are in a chip position. So right now, whenever you are in a chip positions, and the chip position being right here, they have a guy that's going to chip the end man on the line of scrimmage. A lot of teams turn this into a TE stunt. So right now, you're going to have the tackle that's going to go up, and the end is going to sail upfield and come underneath. So right now, Leonard Floyd is going to run that TE stunt. As he comes underneath, he has somebody in front of him, and look how physical he is with the offensive lineman. We talked about Derrick Brown earlier, throwing guys around. Leonard Floyd has those same abilities to throw guys around and get the quarterback on the ground. So we have to be in tune where Leonard Floyd is at all times. He's not just the guy that rushes the passer. They drop him back in coverage, and he's very long, very tall, and he's capable of coming away with that football. So we have to know what Leonard Floyd is at all times. Jalen Walker got his first sack. I talked to him this offseason, KB. This is a game that he had circled coming into the season.
Because of the draft?
Because of the draft. He wanted to be a Carolina Panther. Didn't work out that way. We ended up with T-Mac. Great pick for us. He turned out to be a great pick for Atlanta, but it's going to be a great game in watching how these guys come in, and especially with our offensive line, having some guys that are banged up. But the thing that I love, KB, and we talked about, the guys that are filling in started against Atlanta the last game of the season that we were able to win.
And did very well. But you just mentioned T-Mac. You have got some footage from last game for him, and we know just what a special player he looks to be becoming through 2 games.
Baby, I've been raving about this kid.
You have, since January.
Hopefully, since January, but hopefully every week we're going to have something that we can show our fan base about T-Mac being a special player. And right here, you can watch what T-Mac's able to do. He does a great job of selling this upfield, getting upfield, getting into his route, and not breaking down. One of the things I want to see him do on this play, though, right here is finish. But we're going to show you how this play came about. As you watch the maturation process of Bryce Young right now, as a defender, there's nothing that's telling me that this quarterback is going to go backside, KB. His eyes are locked in, and Budda Baker is a great player.
Yes.
He does a great job of reading guys' eyes. As you can see right now, he's locked in on Bryce, and Bryce knows that. So he's holding Budda Baker right here to throw our guy open right here, and T-Mac does a great job catching this ball in stride, getting upfield, and turning this into a big play. This is what I love to see out of this young receiver. But T-Mac, I'm going to need you to take that to the house, man. You said that you big, you fast, you got wheels. We've been talking about it. I need you to finish that play in the end zone, but great play by our rookie, KB.
All right, I love to see you challenge him, and something tells me that he is up to that challenge as he continues.
He definitely is, and that's what I love about him.
Absolutely. All right, we will be right back, and when we come back, we are spotlighting what we want to see in this home opener at Bank of America Stadium, and here's a little hint. It might have something to do with all of you. That's coming up when we get back.
Closed captioning for the Panthers Television Network is provided by Charlotte Eye, Ear, Nose, and Throat Associates, providing premier eye and ENT care to North and South Carolina.
It's time now for our Coke Spotlight, where we let you know who or what we have our eye on in this game.
KB, normally I would go first, but I want you to do the honors today. I got something I want to say at the end.
Okay, thank you so much, TD. My Coke Spotlight is on this offensive line. We know, sadly, Robert Hunt, Austin Corbett out for quite a while. So we are going to see Cade Mays at center and Chandler Zavala at guard. But as you pointed out, they started last game against Atlanta. So we are confident about how that line is going to look.
Absolutely. KB, my Coach Spotlight is for the great fan base of the Carolina Panthers. This one is for you guys. I know a lot of you guys are disappointed with the way that the season has started. It hasn't started the way any of us would have liked. But we have an opportunity right now in Bank of America Stadium to come in, defend our dirt, to take care of business, to right this ship. We understand and know that this does not happen without you guys. I know, without a doubt, Bank of America Stadium is going to be loud this Sunday, and it's going to start with our fan base. The players are going to be excited. The energy is going to be great. We do not give in when adversity strikes. We keep pounding, we keep going, and we get the job done. And I can't wait to see you in the stadium this Sunday.
You've been watching the Panthers Huddle, a copyrighted presentation of the Carolina Panthers and the NFL.